For years, the Power universe has taught us one rule. Power isn't given, it's taken. Ghost built his empire from the streets up, navigating betrayals, alliances, and bloodshed, always one step ahead. But after his fall, the world of power didn't stop, it shifted. Everyone thinks they know who's in control now. But when you look closer, the pieces aren't adding up. Random events that seem disconnected, sudden betrayals, and perfectly timed interventions are starting to paint a picture that's impossible to ignore. There's someone new in the shadows. Someone who doesn't just want to survive or control a block, they want to own the entire game. And unlike the villains we've seen before, this one isn't obvious. They're silent, strategic, and patient. They're letting others fight each other, while they quietly position themselves to strike at the perfect moment. Every character we've followed is unknowingly playing into their hands. From Tariq to the Tejada family, nothing is coincidental, and every move has been calculated for long-term gain. Look at the last few episodes or seasons carefully. You'll notice small, subtle clues that have been easy to miss. Maybe it's a character showing up just at the right or wrong time. Maybe it's a deal that falls apart suddenly, benefiting someone we haven't even been paying attention to. These aren't mistakes. They're pieces of a puzzle. And when you start connecting the dots, the image that emerges is chilling. The new villain isn't just another street-level enemy, they're shaping events on a level we haven't seen before. Their influence stretches across multiple layers: the streets, the law, even the families who thought they were untouchable. What makes this particularly dangerous is that most of the main characters still have no idea who's orchestrating everything. They assume chaos is random. But chaos is exactly what this villain wants. It's the perfect cover. As viewers, we get the advantage of hindsight. But the characters themselves are walking blindly into a trap meticulously laid out for them. Even more alarming is how the new villain learns from past mistakes. They've studied Ghost, Dre, and even Rashad's moves. They understand ambition, loyalty, and fear in ways that give them an edge over everyone. Unlike previous antagonists, who often acted impulsively or let emotion guide their decisions, this villain calculates, observes, and waits for the perfect opportunity to strike. Every betrayal and every unexpected twist that has recently rocked the Power universe seems to line up with a larger strategy, one that's been invisible until now. And for the first time in the series, it feels like the main players might actually be outmatched. The streets aren't just dangerous anymore, they're a chessboard. And the villain has already started moving pieces that will eventually corner even the strongest players. What makes this revelation so thrilling and terrifying is how subtle it's been. Unlike obvious threats who make noise and draw attention, this villain thrives in silence. They manipulate from the shadows, making everyone else do the dirty work. Someone could be an ally one day and a weapon the next, all without realizing it. Even longtime fans might have overlooked small hints, a line of dialogue, a casual observation, or a minor plot twist that seemed insignificant at the time. Taken together, they paint a picture of someone methodical, patient, and ruthlessly intelligent. And as the story unfolds, the stakes are higher than ever. It's no longer just about survival or money. It's about controlling a legacy. This villain doesn't just want power, they want to define the next generation of the power world, rewriting the rules while no one is paying attention. In conclusion, the stage is set for a new kind of danger, one that isn't flashy or loud, but calculated and inevitable. For anyone following the story closely, it's becoming clear that the Power universe is on the brink of a seismic shift. Alliances will crumble, loyalties will be tested, and every character will soon realize that the real threat has been in the shadows all along. The question now isn't who will survive, but who will see it coming and who will fall first. Because this new villain isn't just confirming their arrival, they've already begun rewriting the rules of the game. The Power universe is no longer the same world fans first fell in love with. The streets are quieter in some ways, but the tension underneath is heavier than ever. Ghost may be gone, but his legacy still echoes, influencing every decision, every alliance, and every betrayal. What's fascinating is how quickly the power structure has shifted in his absence. There's no single figure dominating the streets outright anymore, which means the game is more chaotic, but also more strategic. Everyone is testing boundaries, feeling out weak spots, and making moves that seem small but are secretly part of a much bigger plan. The Tejada family is trying to maintain control, but cracks are appearing, loyalties are fraying, and old rivalries are resurfacing at the worst possible times. Every decision has consequences, and the ripple effects are spreading faster than anyone can contain them. Meanwhile, Tariq's role has grown in ways that were almost impossible to predict. He's no longer just Ghost's son learning the ropes, he's becoming a key player in the streets himself, shaping the future of this universe with every choice he makes. Yet, for all his ambition, he's still learning to read the patterns. He's smart, but this world doesn't reward intelligence alone, it rewards timing, patience, and the ability to manipulate situations without showing your hand. That's where the new villain begins to stand out. While Tariq and the Tejadas are reacting to events, the villain is orchestrating them, pushing people in directions that create chaos, then using that chaos to their advantage. It's like a game of dominoes. One small push, and the entire board is set in motion. The instability in the streets has also allowed minor players to rise in ways they never could before. Characters who would have been background figures are now testing the waters, looking for opportunities to gain influence or make a name for themselves. On the surface, it seems like a natural reshuffling of power, but the truth is far more sinister. Each shift, each move, and each betrayal has been carefully guided to benefit someone operating in the shadows. Patterns that appear random are actually deliberate. Law enforcement pressure, the timing of certain arrests, sudden attacks, and unexpected alliances all point to one conclusion. Someone is manipulating the current state of the power universe to fit their own design. And it isn't just about controlling a single block or territory, it's about controlling influence, perception, and ultimately, the legacy left behind. Even the most trusted alliances are under threat. Friends are becoming enemies. Enemies are forming temporary pacts, and everyone is constantly reassessing who can be trusted. Old patterns are repeating, but with a twist, what once worked for Ghost or Dre might not work for the new players. New methods are being used to exploit weaknesses in people's judgment and test their loyalty. The villain doesn't rush. They wait for the perfect moment, letting characters unknowingly make mistakes that tighten the villain's grip on the narrative. And because the power universe thrives on secrecy and deception, their presence is almost invisible. Everything looks normal until the moment it isn't. And by the time the main characters notice, it's often too late. This is the most dangerous era in the power universe so far. The streets are unstable, the alliances are fragile, and the next big threat isn't obvious to anyone, but that's exactly what makes them dangerous. Unlike previous conflicts, which could be predicted or reacted to, this new wave of chaos is carefully designed to reshape the rules entirely. Every conversation, every move, every decision is part of a larger strategy that the main characters don't yet fully understand. And as this chaos spreads, the stage is being set for a new kind of conflict, one that will test loyalty, ambition, and survival in ways no one has experienced before. In short, the power universe isn't just shifting, it's evolving, and the players who underestimate this evolution are about to pay the price. If you pay close attention to the recent events in the power universe, a pattern begins to emerge, one that almost no one is talking about. On the surface, many of the moves made by the characters seem coincidental, even chaotic. A deal falls apart at the wrong moment. An unexpected arrest happens. An ally suddenly switches sides. These moments might look like bad luck or impulsive decisions. But when you start connecting the dots, it becomes clear that someone is orchestrating these events with precision. This is not random chaos, it is calculated manipulation. And the scary part, the characters themselves don't see it happening. They're too busy reacting to immediate problems, thinking they are in control, while the real player pulls the strings from behind the curtain. One of the clearest examples is how alliances are being tested without anyone noticing. People who have been loyal for years suddenly seem to falter, not because of moral weakness, but because situations have been engineered to create doubt. Timed betrayals, suspicious coincidences, and subtle nudges push characters into making choices they wouldn't normally consider. Even the audience might have overlooked small signs. A glance between two characters, a line of dialogue that seems casual, or a decision that appeared insignificant. Taken individually, these moments seem small. Taken together, they show a pattern that benefits someone who has been quietly observing every move, learning weaknesses, and exploiting them.